We're California criminals. Of course we're gonna get away with it.
We're California criminals. We're not poor. We're just stealing because we can.
We're California criminals. Jail? Never heard of her.
We're California criminals. We're gonna steal your Tesla because we care about the environment.
We're California criminals. We don't need weapons, because you literally can't stop us.
We're California criminals. I wish I could steal Newsom's heart, but I feel like we already did.
We're California criminals. The only time we see cops is when we're watching this.
We're California criminals. Of course we're gonna...
I like how she stole the phone and then uploaded the video later. And why wouldn't people be doing that when the government incentivizes it? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Radowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy and wild news to get into today, as of course the election is being shaken up, but it's looking like it will go the way that a lot of people think it will, as of course we have a very big cultural movement that is being sparked up by Katt and Joe Rogan with their latest podcast episode, which has been absolutely freaking incredible and really goes deep down the rabbit hole like we will here on this independent media broadcast. As of course, there's a lot of news that we are going to be getting into here on this particular video. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was shot by the amazing Brent Pella, who is on Twitter. We, of course, will be linking his YouTube video down in the description below, as he does absolutely incredibly funny work that deserves to be shouted out. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, as, of course, we definitely need more comedians poking fun at the absolute absurdity of our current day life. And the people who are able to make us laugh during these very difficult times deserve more praise than ever. As, of course, the situation is not all right, to the point where even now there are rumors that Democrats could even be voting against Joe Biden on Super Tuesday, a day with many primary elections, which Donald Trump is expected to, of course, win, as he just defeated Nikki Haley in the Idaho Republican caucus, as well as the Michigan Republican Party convention, as it's pretty clear that he will be the Republican nominee, even though there's a lot of unfair play against him. Now, will people actually stand up against the current president of the United States because of his support of military funding and aid internationally? Well, that's a question that, of course, we are going to be paying close attention to, as, of course, we are going to be doing many live streams, many reports about this particular topic, as it definitely sets the way for the future of this country, as, of course, a lot of people are pissed off, especially with the latest CDC declaration that is saying the big sickness that was going around the last 3 years. Yeah, it's pretty much the equivalent of the flu. Here's the guide on how to deal with the flu. Good luck, folks. This, as it's also fair to say that the Biden administration and its allies are definitely going to be doing their best to fortify this election, as the Biden administration now is being accused of using taxpayer funds to help his campaign with student voter registration, which overwhelmingly, according to some polls, will be going towards the Democratic Party. This, as the Democrats also have a lot of help from individuals like Mark Zuckerberg and also online big tech titans like Facebook and Google, as Sergey Brin recently addressed the larger controversy with Google's artificial intelligence that discriminated against white people. And he blames everything on Coinky Dink, as of course it's fair to say that there has been a larger discriminatory agenda at play here almost all throughout major swaths of the internet, its algorithms, as of course a lot of people are starting to question what's really happening in this country, as we are getting more polarized, we are getting more divided, as even mainline television shows like MSNBC have programs where they describe white rural voters as a, quote, threat to American democracy. And as this election shapes up, it definitely does seem like there will be a recall of this current administration, as the former president of the United States steamrolls his way ahead to an election that probably will be more tumultuous than ever. And that's why we made a lot of shirts for this upcoming election on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. The ones surrounding Joe Biden are my favorite. I had this shirt on yesterday, and a lot of people definitely gave me double looks here, as of course, first they were like, Why a Biden supporter here in Florida? A lot of Cubans here who really don't like leftist policies, and then they kind of took a double look, and then they're like, oh, I see what you mean here. And then they, of course, started laughing. That genuine moment of human connection is absolutely worth the price of admission, which is just $29.99 plus shipping and handling on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. As, of course, the shirt that I'm wearing right now also gets a lot of different eyeballs, also gets a lot of people coming up and saying, yeah, man, that's a great freaking point here. As it reads, if you trust the government, you don't know history. And we have a lot of shirts, some of them too spicy to show you here on this particular broadcast, as of course, we just released another one that simply reads, blank, don't blank people, the government does. Again, family-friendly show here. Another one here, too spicy. I'm definitely going to be wearing it in the Miami nightclubs here. And I'll definitely be reporting back to you about that. Again, you want to see all the full shirts, go right now. Click the link in the description below, thebestpoliticalshirts.com. You're not only investing in this independent media organization, but you're also helping do your lazy form of activism and spreading important messages and important words during an extremely very close election cycle that, of course, is going to be an absolute nail-biter. This is another favorite one of mine of Joe Biden falling down with Biden 24. This one, Biden chewing down on some pizza, saying, at least we get a pizza before all global chaos is released on the earth. And again, the Tupac Shakur Machiavelli Donald Trump one, also one of my favorites. Get all of these shirts plus more on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Lots of really great individuals that, of course, wear these shirts in public. I met some of them yesterday during the meetup here. I'll get into that tomorrow. Absolutely motivating, incredible freaking event. So much more people showed up than I expected. I'll get into that tomorrow. But the community that we have here is strong. It's amazing, and you guys are a part of it more than ever. And the corporate media doesn't like communities, doesn't like people coming together, as, of course, they play up on a lot of divisive nonsense like they are right now after Joe Rogan just interviewed Katt Williams, which, according to Newsweek's latest article, is sparking fury because Joe Rogan asked Katt Williams why black people like to smoke menthols when Katt Williams made that declarative statement. And again, who cares? It was a non sequitur. It didn't dominate the conversation. It wasn't a major vocal point of the conversation, but there was a lot of other things that were critically important. As, of course, Joe Rogan invited Katt Williams on the show after Katt Williams publicly declared that Joe Rogan would never want him on the show. Joe Rogan then responded to Katt Williams, literally saying, Joe don't want me. Joe got 6 comedians that never been funny he wants to push out. As Joe Rogan responded to that saying, I love Katt. He's one of my favorite comedians, and I'd love to have him on. And then he had him on. This after the controversy was created on the Club Shay Shay podcast episode that now has 61 million views as of 2 months ago on YouTube, and definitely sparked a lot of very interesting conversations and controversies about individuals like P. Diddy, Mr. Weinstein, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Jackson, as it's fair to say that Katt Williams didn't hold anything back and was very prophetic, especially when it came to the larger P. Diddy situation that he, of course, spoke about. And on the Joe Rogan episode 2 months later, Katt Williams also didn't hold a lot back, as, of course, I thought the conversation was fascinating. It was extremely rich. It was thought-provoking, and it was a lot more than just talking about menthol cigarettes, Newsweek. As, of course, Katt Williams got into a lot of different issues, especially how immigration is desperately affecting people in the black community more than almost any other community. He got into how the extreme left is just as vicious as the extreme right in our political circus. And his statement that it's the people in the middle that make America great is something that, of course, is a message that is counterproductive to the larger messaging of the corporate media. But one of the biggest statements that Katt Williams made was about the larger spiritual aspect of our entertainment industry that is usually correlated with a lot of rituals that include dressing up men in dresses. And he got into the larger kind of energetic, demonic, spiritual, religious aspects of this, describing them as, quote, Baphomet rituals, going as far as to even describe how this is Hollywood's agenda that is not meant for entertainment, but for pure propaganda purposes. Now, if you look at a lot of the lore, a lot of the kind of knowledge of Baphomet, it does correlate with a lot of what's happening in the mainline entertainment industry that they are trying to, of course, normalize. This, according to my own personal opinion, and probably the opinion of Katt Williams, who had some very interesting remarks about this entire matter. As, of course, this is what he had to say about it.
That's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
Bringing up some very important points that I think are definitely worth contemplating and looking at, as of course, some people say that this is just conjecture. This is just connecting the dots that shouldn't be connected. Some people are saying that this is just an absolute ideological stretch here. But let's be honest here. Katt Williams has been talking about this for a very long time, almost in a kind of prophetic way, as his comments even left Joe Rogan speechless, as some people are saying that he was even kind of pulling back on this conversation that, according to some people, was getting too close to the larger truths out there, that there needed to be a larger pullback effort on. Now, I don't know if that's particularly true. That's just some of the chatter out there. But it definitely did seem like this was an out-of-the-ordinary conversation that was definitely far more complex, far more down the rabbit hole, and I think only someone inside of this industry like Katt Williams could expand on, as of course largely what he was talking about here is a sign of an awakening kind of spiritual war that does involve religion, does involve personal beliefs, as Jason Whitlock on social media responded to this entire matter as an encouraging sign, and I would definitely say so, especially when the conversation turned towards God, and Katt Williams had this to say.
The fact that there is a God is the biggest conversation worldwide, but the truth of the matter is there is more reason for you to believe there is a God than there is for you to not. The fact that it was already set up on this planet for there to be medicines for us to find and to utilize. And you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like, oh, yeah, so he made a cow. No, to make a cow, it means you had to also have made grass. And it means you would have had to have invented a whole new eating system for this animal, which was cud. And that means you would then have to have given him 3 stomachs to be able to, and you would have to have known that he was going to then emit a gas that was going to be necessary on the planet. Like none of these things
fertilizer
are right. The fact that everything goes together is how you know.
This, as a lot of people are saying, that there is a larger spiritual awakening out there and a start of a spiritual war. Do you believe that this is the case, that this is happening right now? Well, let me know down in the comment section below. Press 1 if you think it is. Press number 2 if you don't think it is at all. And this is just 2 people who clearly smoked a lot of the sticky icky talking out of their buttocks. What do you think is going on here? As of course, both allegations have been laid down here. You probably already know my answer, my conclusion to all of this, but whatever you might think about this conversation, at least the conversation is happening, and I think that's an absolute step forward. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members, as it's important to talk about these larger issues, I think more than ever, as there's a lot of really troubling signs ahead, and I think one's faith is going to be absolutely crucial when it comes to addressing and facing a lot of the problems that are headed our way. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. Thank you again so much for buying a t-shirt and supporting independent media. It's more important than ever, and because you do that, that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more.